Check it. For the record, we break it down. Business podcast, we run this town. From entrepreneurs to investors, we in the
Welcome back to another episode of For the Record. I'm Dwayne.
I'm Hope.
Hey, today I want you to grab your writing utensils and a notepad. We got some things we want to share with you about college and how companies are doing away with degrees.
So whenever we have notes, and we have some notes today, that means it's going to be very important, and we're sharing some information that's going to help you and your family and your business.
Yeah, that's right. So Apple, Google, and companies like that are telling us that, hey, you don't need a degree to come work for us.
No degree? No problem. Major companies, including Bank of America, Dell, they've ditched requiring a college education for workers. That trend only expected to grow.
Nearly half of companies recently surveyed plan to drop bachelor's degrees as a requirement in the coming year. Joining us to discuss, Ramsey Solutions member and host of the Ken Coleman Show, Ken Coleman. Ken, I actually have been calling for this for years, that a college degree is one of the greatest cons sold to families in this country over the last 20 years as costs just skyrocketed.
They are looking at skills over this degree certification.
And experience. You remember when you first graduated from high school and or college and you went to get a job?
Yeah.
And they always said you needed this degree or you need more skill. And we all thought the same thing. How am I supposed to get skill and training if you don't give me an opportunity?
Exactly.
And now these same major companies are saying, I don't even care if you have that piece of paper. Show me what you can do.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. Show me what you can do better than show me this piece of paper that really isn't on the job training.
Not
you know
at
what
all.
I'm saying? Because a lot of times we go to college, we learn, what do we got? Like these prerequisites.
Yes.
Classes.
I mean, your math and English,
Yeah.
the same thing you did in high
You
school.
did that in high school. And then you even have some other courses, you take as extra. So,
Right.
Like extracurricular, I guess that's what you would call them.
Electives, I think they call them. Yes.
It's been so long since I've been to college.
We're getting up there.
But the thing about it is I do have a college degree from
There it is.
great Bethune-Cookman College
Hell
University. I got
Wildcats.
Hell Wildcats. I got on my colors today. So the experience for me was great, but I see how much it cost. I do. I really see the at the time I didn't.
You're right.
I
Of
wanted
course
to go.
not.
Right?
Yeah, we just want to go to college. We were watching the show School Days, Different
Yes.
World, and was like, I gotta be there.
Yeah.
Parents, help me get there. This is what I want to do.
And that's exactly what we did. But do we really consider the debt that we are
No.
acquiring?
No.
Like right now, 1960, it was 7.7% people that held college degrees.
Okay.
1960. In 2022, 37% of people that have degrees. This represents people that have degrees. 37%. Let me be clear.
In 2024?
In 2022.
Oh.
So I'm sure these are some stats that I just grabbed real quick.
Right.
Not sure, has it been an uptick since then?
It has, because there's other articles that state every year it goes up 2% annually.
Okay, 2% annually. Okay, so that was 2 years ago. So,
Yeah.
So you get the picture.
Yeah.
And as we were talking earlier, a lot of times when you have degrees, you don't really work in your field. Sometimes you don't.
There's a lot of people that don't work in their field, and I am one of them. I have a degree in medical insurance, billing and coding, and I never once worked in a position. I never once had an internship. I never once even had an interview for that type of job. I applied for those jobs back then, and that was early 2005, 2006. And I was told either, we're full, we have an influx, right? It was so many people on it. They had an influx. So I took different options, and I've been doing other things since, administration, finance. So spent that money, still paying back.
You took out a loan.
I took out a couple of loans and still paying that money back. And I don't even use my degree.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because like we also said, you run into people that's like that all the time.
Right.
Whether they may be working in Starbucks or some a retail store, and just we're not able to find a job in their field.
When I was working at that nursing facility. I started off as a secretary.
Right.
But when the regional manager came and, you know, they sat and talked, he looked at my experience. I didn't have a college degree that would fit a business office manager.
Right.
Remember, I had medical insurance, billing, and coding. But he looked at my skill set and said, I think you can do this. Do you want to try? And he gave me an opportunity to be a business office manager, assistant, and I got it because of my experience and skill in those other jobs.
And that's important because you probably have done jobs in the past that say, okay, I have experience in whether even if it's a cashier,
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
regardless.
counting money. I don't care what it is. You have the skill sets that you've acquired over time. You know, you going to college, you are more concentrated on a curriculum, right?
Right.
Nothing wrong with the curriculum. Again,
no.
I went to college, so don't try to eat us up in the comments.
Yeah, we went to college. We're not knocking college.
No.
We're just giving an overview on how the job market has changed and for people to make a better decision. Do I want to go into debt? For those who are not going to get a full scholarship, for those whose parents aren't rich, families aren't rich that can pay your way.
Right.
So we want to make sure everybody's making an informed decision because now it's time to consider the cost of college against your return of investment.
Oh yeah.
Right? It's different from 50 years ago.
Big time.
Let me give you an example. So an electrician without the burden of college debt, he went to a tech school, probably took a couple of years,
Right.
probably maybe 5,000 to 7,000, right?
If that. And
If
it
that.
probably didn't take a couple of years.
Because they give free training when you go get a skill. So it says you can start earning a good living
Talking to the mic.
immediately after you have gotten your training as an electrician versus someone who's coming out with a traditional piece of paper.
Right.
They're going to have to work for a company for a long time, learn the business from the ground up before they even can make the type of money that this electrician made immediately out of trade school.
And you know what? When you go to those apprenticeship programs or trade schools, a lot of times electrician companies go to these schools and find workers that they can pay them while they're on the job as well, while they're going to school.
While they're going to school.
What I'm saying, they may go to school at night, but in the daytime, you're working in that trade.
Versus corporate America.
Yeah.
Corporate America, you can get a job, but they're going to ask you to be an intern first, most likely.
Yeah.
That means no money.
Yeah. Or even versus college, because we're talking about a freshman in college. Now you got 4 years to finish that curriculum.
Yes.
Now this electrician started kind of immediately.
Exactly.
That's what I'm getting at. He kind of started immediately
As soon as he was done.
Yeah, as soon as or while he's going to school. Not necessarily while he's there, because like in the trade that I have, fire sprinkler, right? You can work in the field and also go to school at night and earn money, and they pay you a pretty good wage as a helper. I mean, anywhere from like $20 an hour,
to $50 an hour. Let me ask you this question, since you have experience: is it easier to learn a skill or a trade versus going to a traditional 4-year college and doing, as you said, you got to do these prerequisites, you got to choose electives, then you choose your major? Which one do you think personally is better in this market?
In this market, I think to go ahead and get that skill job, that trade job. And the reason I say that is because not only does it give you the benefit of working like kind of right away, it also gives you less expense to get into that career.
No debt.
And that once you're in it and you learn that trade, you're good at it, you've worked in it for a while, it is also easier for you now to even start a business.
Exactly.
That way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you don't have to wait 4 or 5 years later after you're out of debt, paying off your debt. You don't have any debt. A lot of times, not everyone, but most people who go to school for skill and trades, they're not going to have debt.
Okay, so we're talking about the return on investment. Right. So we pulled some stats off of ZipRecruiter, right? ZipRecruiter is a reputable site.
And we all know that.
And we all know that. And we're talking about Florida college graduates. These are Florida college graduates. Now, the return on investment, this is what we're focusing on.
You ready?
Yeah.
As of March, this is a few days ago,
2024.
17th, 2024, the average annual pay for the college graduate jobs category in Florida is $33,995 a year. Just in case, we all need a simple salary calculator. That works out to be $16.34 an hour.
Wow.
This is the equivalent of only $653 a week or $2,832 a month.
Per month. Oh, wow.
I have to say something about this.
Go ahead.
This is shocking because when I was working at that nursing facility, I told you, I made more than this. And I do not have a bachelor's degree. I
Right.
have an AA. And I was making more than this without a degree back in between 2013 and 2017.
Wow. And isn't it shocking?
This is 2024. You're coming out of college and you're only making $33,995. That's a lot to consider because out of that, you have to have a place to stay.
Right.
You have to eat. More than likely, you need transportation.
Yeah.
And then you have to consider paying back student loans if you took them out. All right, let's get to the next one.
Yeah, let's talk about. Okay, so that's what you would get working out of college with a degree. Of course, it didn't specify
Which degree.
which job, which degree, or nothing. But we're just trying to give a ballpark figure.
Right.
You're talking how much you said? 33,000.
$995 a year. Call it $34,000 a year.
Yeah.
That's not a lot.
But how much does it cost to go to school? Let's look at that. What does it cost to go to school?
I got stats.
Yeah.
Listen, when I
That's all we
said
got
we
these-
ready today,
that's all we got these
we
papers.
ready. All right, we're going to do it based on public versus private. All right.
Okay.
If you're an in-state student at a public four-year college, you're going to spend around $26,000 a year.
Okay.
But if you're going to go to a nonprofit private school, that's going to double. You're looking at $56,000. That's just tuition.
Now you're not talking about room, board.
No, that's just tuition.
Just tuition.
That's just say, hey, you can come to the school. You got in. Now you're going to pay us for getting in.
Wow.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Now, in-state versus out-of-state. So if you're studying out-of-state, again, it doesn't say which one. It sometimes is going to drop a little bit. So you can look at about an average of $27,000 a year. That's your
Per
basic
year.
per every single year.
And it normally times 4.
Times
and
4.
if you're not diligent student, sometimes times 5, times 6,
Times 7, times 8.
You know what I'm saying?
But here, let me give you this number.
All
Let's
right.
look at it this way. In today's job market against a college degree, a true cost to get a bachelor's now is $500,000.
Yeah, that's
$500,000 just to get a bachelor's. That's not a master's. That's just your basic average today in the US of A.
Yeah.
If you want to get higher education and get a bachelor's degree, you need $500,000.
yeah. And this is based on the article we just
Yes,
read.
several
And it's not taking into consideration the state or anything like that because it could be. Now you go for an advanced degrees, of course, prices
gonna
go
be
up.
more. It's gonna be
So
more.
What you got to do now is when you graduate from high school and say, hey, I want to go to college, or do I want to go to college, or do I want to get a job?
A job.
You have to weigh that. Like, okay,
Yes.
Being that we just read in Florida, 33,000 is what you will make
Starting
out. Yeah, that's on the low
average.
end.
That's
And
the low
Then
end.
they had a median is about 60, and then a high end of like 90.
Right.
Like, but we're gonna use this.
We got to use the basic.
We want to use the basic, right? And so now when you times that by 4,
That's a lot of
that's
money.
like almost $100,000. Not considering if you lived off campus.
Yep.
If
Books.
food,
Lab
like you want.
fees.
Oh, I want to go to Popeyes or McDonald's, or I want to hang out. I want to go to. You spend money.
Every time you go out, you're going to spend
You
money.
spend money. It is very expensive now.
And you're accumulating debt if you're taking out loans.
Yeah, and I took out loans. I did take out loans.
But thank God his loans are done.
Yeah, and my I think it was up $89,000,
Yes.
and this was in the 90s.
In the 90s.
$89,000. Now I would have had to have a job to at least put some on that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But
I'm
you
trying
were
to find the word.
fortunate.
Nah. Hey, let me
After
tell you
your
about this. So I graduate with a degree in business.
All right.
I have a degree in business. Come home to our family business, which was in operation all my years in college.
What's that family business?
It's Powell Fire Sprinklers Systems, right?
Okay.
We install fire sprinklers systems. So, of course, when I was in school, a lot of my friends, they were like applying with like these companies. Back in the day, IBM, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and stuff like that. Me, I knew I wanted to come home and work in the business.
Because you knew you had position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew I had a...
Wait for it.
So I come home. There's an office. Pop had an office. We have warehouse and all that. So me, I show up to work. First day, it was what kind of space they're trying to get acclimated to the office.
Right, you got your degree.
Yeah. So the second day, he told me to dress down because you're gonna ride with Pete today.
Oh,
Pete,
dress down.
Yeah,
Forget
dress
your
down.
suit.
No, I didn't have a suit. I was just make sure something that's gonna get dirty, which I had no problem getting dirty.
Right.
But he said, you're riding with Pete today. Pete is one of our field guys. He was one of our field guys. So I rode with Pete. Me not really knowing what was going on.
You had no idea.
I had became Pete's helper.
But you have a bachelor's.
Yeah, in business.
Yeah.
But I was Pete's helper. First day working with Pete. What was I doing?
I know, but you tell them.
Digging ditches. I was digging trenches to lay pipe.
Oh, and bringing buckets of water.
And carrying buckets of water. The second day, we were doing some type of t-shirt printing shop, and we had to pull out all this fiberglass insulation. And I'm covered in fiberglass, itching.
You had to pull it out?
I'm mad as I don't know what. You know what I'm saying?
You have a bachelor's.
I know it, but I'm saying all that to say,
Exactly.
I learned the trade from the ground.
From the ground up.
From the ground up, and I'm still learning. Of course, you know, there's so much to it. And I was fortunate also to have a degree from college.
Right.
Now, if I would have just stuck with the family business and had not gone to college,
right?
I don't know would I've been head financially or who knows.
Who knows?
But I cannot say I did not love that experience of college.
Yeah, and again, we're not here trying to tell people not to go to college or to go to college. That is a personal and family decision.
Yeah.
We just want to give you the facts of what's going out, of what's happening in the job market today. I have a niece, a beautiful niece, shout out to Leanna, who is just finishing up her bachelor's, and now she's getting ready to go get her master's, and she asked me which way should she go. I felt so honored that she would ask me that, and I encouraged her to choose anything in digital marketing, anything that says AI, right? Because when we're talking about corporate America, in my opinion now, that's what corporate America is about nowadays. It's about knowing AI and how to use its systems and functions to build your business, maintain it, right? So that's what she's doing. I would never tell her, oh, don't go, because she's learning a skill
exactly
that the job market needs. So when she graduates, that set of skills that she got from college will help her, because she's learning what's new in the market, what moves the market and what's going to move the market. Yeah,
and again, I think I said it last podcast, how we had a great reset in like 2020. Things are different. Back again when we were in school, people actually did interns.
A lot of us
to get a job. I mean, you actually say, okay, I will work for free in order to secure this job, right? And you can't do that nowadays.
You can't do that now. And I'm going to tell you why. We're going to cover this in another podcast coming up, because the cost of living nowadays is well over $100,000 per year. So who is going to say, I'm going to work for free for 6 months to a year, unless you already have money saved, unless you have a family behind you that's going to support you, unless you're going to take out a second job while you're doing it? Who can do that in today's market?
I don't know. And that's why I say, if we had college age students, or that's about to graduate and go to college, we have a niece. We have a niece that's, I guess she may be going to college, possibly, I guess, but you really have to weigh the I'm gonna say the pros and the cons.
We have 2 nieces in college. Yeah.
Now the pros, you go to college, you're gonna have fun. You're gonna feel some type of independence.
Right.
You're going to gain some friends like for life.
Connections.
Some, I mean, those are some advantages.
Right. There's definitely advantages there if taken the right way.
If taken the right way. But, the disadvantages or cons is the money.
The money.
And we know that's what it all matters. Not all matters, but that's what
it boils down to.
That's what it boils down to.
It's the economy runs on money, not just relationships. And I want to say that I believe our nieces are doing it the smart way in today's market because they're staying at home. So they're only taking money. They got grants, free money, and very small loans because all they need is to pay for the school, right? So again, as we said earlier, some people might have to stay home in order to obtain the degree they want or the skill in trade. But I have to go back to what you said earlier, the facts, that if I became an electrician or a plumber, that as soon as I am done or while I'm doing it, I could be setting up my own business already.
Yeah.
So when I get that certificate of completion, I can open my doors. I'm already making money.
Exactly.
I've already made client contacts because I'm out in the field. I'm fixing small stuff, as you call it, apprentice.
Yeah.
Or a journeyman, right?
Is the next year.
So you already have made connections out there faster than you would, in my opinion, in corporate America. Because if you don't know somebody in corporate America nowadays, it's kind of hard to move up the ladder.
Yeah. And then in corporate America, when you go that route, college, to get a good job, right? You have to also think about how the time you spent, those 4 years you spent, or 5 years or whatever it is, and the money that was spent, how far behind you are now. And sometimes
financially.
Yeah, sometimes you meet your college sweetheart.
Yep.
And now you both come out with debt. So where it was 100,000, now it's 200,000. Or more.
So what do you do with that? I don't appreciate the way the system is set up. I do not appreciate that we leave high school, we have zero debt. They didn't teach us anything about debt and college debt specifically.
Nope.
And now I'm going to go to this school and you're telling me I'm going to have to find a way to come up with all this money.
You would.
And then you said, well, I can't go. And they said, oh, no, we'll give you some free money. You could go take out these loans.
Take out a parent, what is it,
Parent plus loan.
Yeah, plus loan.
Yeah.
So they have ways, but you're steady digging in debt.
And then you land these jobs after you have graduated. And guess what? You're going to spend your first 5 and sometimes 10 years paying off student loans. So all we're trying to share is look at skills and trades in conjunction with your traditional college. Make the best decision because the job market has changed.
And it's another thing. People sometimes say, well, I'll pay on it. They do have payment plans. But things also to consider. That is on your credit report.
Until you pay
it off. So if you want to buy a house, if you want to buy a car,
I'm going to tell them. That happened. That happened with us.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we bought our home, it was so easy for Dwayne. Perfect credit, no student loans. To get the loan, we're going to need you to either get on a payment plan. I'm on a payment plan. Yes, but it shows 0. You're in a forbearance. They wanted me to come out of 0 and start making payments in order to obtain another debt.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying, to consider these things. And because, I was ignorant when I was like, I ain't going to pay these student loans off. They ain't never get this money. Until you get hit with it on your credit report and you deny just
credit, everything you need. You can't get a car, you can't get a telephone, a cell. They running your credit for cell phone.
And then they say you can't even go back to school. You got to get back on this plan. You know what I'm saying? They don't play it.
No.
So
hey, y'all remember Girlfriends?
Yeah.
Okay. The character Lynn.
Yes.
She had 8 degrees, 8 master degrees.
And she was a couch
potato.
Yes,
she had in and odd jobs. And at the very end of her, I guess, education, what she was searching for, she became a musician. So think of all that money that went to schooling and all these degrees, and she never used.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Yep.
consider that too. There's many people out there saying, you know, I'm going to go get this degree so I can get this job.
Yeah.
But you know, deep down inside, that's not what you want to do. So you're obtaining these debts just to go 10 years later into something you really are passionate about.
Yep. And that's the key. So we're just encouraging students and parents alike. If you are considering it, you know, make sure you are weighing that ROI, return on investment, versus what you want to expend, what you're going to pay
Out
at
of
college.
pocket.
Now, if you got a scholarship, then
That's different.
That's different.
Go for it.
Go for it. But make sure you are focusing on your education.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get a scholarship in football or sports or music or something like that, unless you are planning on going to the NFL,
Right.
or being a teacher or a conductor or something like that. You know, those things, you do have to have a college degree
Yes.
for some things.
For some things you need to,
y-
because
yeah.
some college degrees are skilled.
Yeah.
You know, and some of them, like when you say a conductor, if I'm in music,
Yeah.
I can't just have experience with me. I mean, I love doing singing. I be doing this all the
Yeah.
time, but doesn't mean I know what the right count is, and I don't even know what the terminology is for a conductor, you see?
Yeah.
So some things you do need a college degree for, but the way the market has shifted and is shifting, they're not required as much anymore.
I was listening to the radio the other day, and I heard on the radio where it's in Oregon.
Oh, I know what you're about to say.
You don't even have to pass the bar exam.
That part.
Yeah, you don't have to pass Oregon is another state that's already doing that.
That's crazy. You don't have to pass the bar to be an attorney anymore.
Nope.
Look how the world is shifting. Remember, that was a big thing.
But what did they say they wanted instead? Experience
And skill.
Yeah, so they wanted you to work in for a law firm or something like that, intern, which is
Be a paralegal, learn each
the
position.
system, and then work for
Yes.
So I mean, it's shifting. The bar exam,
That's pretty high.
Yeah.
The bar was pretty high.
Yeah.
And now they're lowering it.
Yeah.
Actually, they're removing
they're
it.
removing it. So hey, if you're in Oregon, you want to be a lawyer, go to Oregon. 'Cause
Study.
we know that people who take this bar exam 2, 3, 4, 5 times sometimes just to pass it.
Just to pass.
I'm not sure how much it costs.
Me neither, but so again, thank you
Yes.
for listening today, because we wanted to share these stats
Yep.
and these facts so we can make informed decisions on how to move through today's market, because the job market has changed and it's going to keep changing.
Exactly. So that's all we got for you today. We want to thank you for joining us on For the Record. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment below. I mean, we want to hear from you.
Yeah.
Engage with us.
We want to talk with you, business owners. We want to talk with, so any of you who have ideas about the job market, parents, business owners, students, shout out, leave a message.
And last thing before we go, we are hiring. Remember, if you watch the last podcast, you will remember that we said that if you want to make some extra money, we will pay a commission if you send people that want to advertise their business or product our way.
On For the Record.
Yeah, on For the Record, you can be on For the Record or
The Boss Ladies Podcast.
So hit us up. Go to thebossmove.com if you want to earn some extra money. All right?
All right.
So take us out.
Remember, let's support each other more in 2024.
All right.
Later.
Later.
We break it down. Business podcast, we run this town. From entrepreneurs to investors, we in the zone. Sharing knowledge, making moves, we a microphone. For the record, we got the facts. For the record, we run the tracks. We in the business, no time to play. For the record, podcast all day.